Friday night. I think so. Are you catching that? Like, yeah, it's like people like that. Well, it's there is it. You can do it less. I don't think I'm gonna even know it. Oh, so. You ready? You. I'm not sure. Anyway, you can join us. Alaska. Oh, that's in San Francisco. This I have. It's okay. You guys ready? Ready? Okay, good morning. I hope that our technician. Okay, good morning. I hereby convene this hearing in the matter of Hawaii State Ethics Commission versus Senator Brenton Awa. Is that correct?
Correct.
Awa. REQ 2024-0222. Today's date is November 3rd, 2025, and the time is 9:00. This hearing is being held in the Commission's Conference Room 1001 Bishop Street, Room 970 in Honolulu, Hawaii. My name is Wesley Fong. I'm the chair of the Commission, and the members of the Commission participating in person are Commissioner Hong, Commissioner Thielen, and Commissioner Becker. Also advising the Commission are the Compliance Director, Benito Chang, and Staff Attorney Jody Yee. Will the parties please identify yourselves, starting with Charge Counsel?
Key Campbell and Robert Harris on behalf of Charge Counsel.
You're going to have to speak up loud. Okay?
Key Campbell and Robert Harris on behalf of the Charge Counsel in this case.
Brenton, representing myself.
Thank you. The court report is also present in the conference room and will be transcribing these proceedings. The public transparency and access to today's meeting is being streamed on YouTube. The hearing is being held pursuant to the Commission's authority under Hawaii Revised Statute, Chapter 84. This hearing is held in regards to the notice of violation that was issued against Senator Brenton Awa on August 20th, 2025 for his alleged misuse of official position and state resources for political campaign activities. The Commission is conducting this hearing in accordance with HRS Chapter 84 and 91, Act 13, and Hawaii Administrative Rules, Title 21. We're going to follow the following procedures. First, each side will have a minimum of 15 minutes to give an opening statement. Let me remind the parties that an opening statement is nothing more than to prove what you're going to prove in your case. It is not argument, but I'll cut you off. You can save your argument for final argument. Hope you understand that. Okay, the charge counsel will present his case in chief, followed by Senator Awa. And the parties will have a minimum of 15 minutes in their final arguments. Charge counsel will go first, followed by Senator Awa, and charge counsel will then have an opportunity to make rebuttal arguments a maximum of only 5 minutes. And limited only to the issues that Senator Awa has brought up during his final argument. Understand this. Okay, just a few administrative announcements. Parties are expected, and I know you will, conduct yourselves with courtesy and proper decorum. Be sure to speak clearly and loudly so that the commissioners and the court reporter can hear you. And please turn off your cell phones. Now let's talk about exhibits. This is an administrative contested case hearing. And the commission is not bound by the formal rules of evidence that you find in a regular trial. Any oral documentary evidence may be received, but if it's irrelevant, immaterial, or unduly repetitious, evidence will be excluded. In addition, any exhibits or evidence that have not been previously disclosed in accordance with the commissioner's pre-hearing order shall not be included unless for good reason that you hadn't put it in your pre-hearing statement. Okay, the commission notes for the record that the charge counsel has exchanged exhibits with Senator Awa and submitted copies of its exhibits, exhibits C001 through C0016 to the commission in advance of this hearing. Now, except for any rebuttal witnesses, charge counsel will not be presenting any witnesses. Is that correct?
Correct.
My understanding too is no witnesses or exhibits were submitted by Senator Awa. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. In addition, the parties have stipulated to both the authenticity and admissibility of the charge counsel's exhibits 1 through 16. But you have an opportunity to object if you, at the time that they are submitted to evidence.
Okay.
Attempted to be submitted to evidence. For the purposes of the record, the charge counsel will introduce each exhibit during the case, this case in chief. And the charge counsel requested exhibit from the commission's counsel and show it to the Senator Awa and then identify the exhibit for the record. Charge counsel may then request that the chair admit the exhibit into evidence. The chair will ask Senator Awa if he has any objections. If none, the evidence will be submitted to the exhibit will be submitted to evidence. You understand that? After it is admitted to evidence, the exhibit will be displayed on the screen by the commission's counsel. You have the screen back there. That's correct. Okay. Senator Awa, I just want to make sure you understand that you can testify on your own behalf as your own witness. Okay, but you're gonna have to be forewarned that if you do testify as a witness, charge counsel can cross-examine. Of course, you can object to whatever questions they may ask or he may ask if it's based upon a reasonable legal objection, irrelevant, privilege, et cetera, et cetera. After you testify and there's a cross-examination, you may redirect and they may do a redirect. You understand that?
Okay, yeah.
Counsel, you understand that? Okay. Okay, with that, any of the parties have any questions or anything you want to bring up preliminary before we begin this hearing? Charge counsel?
No.
Senator Howell?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Mention 15 minutes. Charge counsel, you have lower minutes for your own.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners, Respondent Law. This is a straightforward case and the evidence will be clear. On October 30th, 2024, just days before the 2024 general election, Respondent Awa posted a video to his Instagram account, making the following statement. Getting Samantha DeCourt in as YNI Senator would unlock our full potential. This Tuesday, election day, Kapolei Hale. You guys know what to do. This is a clear call to action to vote for his former office leader, Samantha DeCourt. The commission will, charge counsel will seek to admit Exhibit C5, which is a declaration from Ms. DeCourt herself. That declaration will say that this video was shot during work hours and in a respondent's state office. The only evidence in this case will show that respondent filmed a video supporting Ms. DeCourt's political campaign in his state office during state work hours and utilizing his state staff. So what's the problem with that? The Fair Treatment Law, HRS 84-13A, and the administrative rules governing that provision state that you cannot use state resources to promote a political campaign. The purpose of this law is straightforward. First is to protect taxpayers. State resources paid for by the taxpayers should be used for a state purpose, not for political campaigning. Second, the law is meant to keep public power separate from private politics. Incumbent politicians should not be allowed to abuse their position and utilize the resources of the state to help hand-picked political candidates. Taxpayer resources are meant to serve the public.
Excuse me, Council, are you arguing or are you gonna tell us what you're gonna present in your
Yes,
case in chief?
we will tell you what we're going to present. So,
Just get to that.
okay, so state resources should be used for state business. The commission has issued consistent and well-known guidance on this throughout the years. In Exhibit C, the Charge Council will seek to admit Exhibit C8 through C11. Those exhibits will show 4 cases that the commission has issued within the last 5 years, issuing administrative penalties to legislators and legislative staff for utilizing state resources to promote political campaigns. One of those cases specifically involves the use of a state office. We will seek to apply the same rules to respondent a law. Additionally, Charge Council will seek to admit the commission's social media guide, which will be Exhibit C12. That guide states that there are no use of state facilities for campaign purposes. Finally, the commission Charge Council will seek to show evidence that respondent Awa himself knows these rules because he attended a training on this specifically in 2020. The slides to that presentation, Charge Council will seek to admit as Exhibit C15. Those slides state that there are no campaign activities allowed in your state office. So these cases and guidances that Charge Council will seek to admit into evidence just reiterate what should be a very well-known and uncontroversial proposition. Your state office and state staff should be used for state work and not for campaigning. Now, respondent Awa may assert that his office is open to the public. And because his office is open to the public and he allows anyone in, what's the problem with filming a video supporting Ms. DeCourt's campaign there? However, Charge Council will seek to admit the Senate rules and administrative as exhibits C6 and C7. Those documents state that legislative offices and staff are to be utilized for legislative purposes and not for political campaigns. So the evidence will show that respondent Awa's office is not truly open to the public. It is a state resource that is given to him to do his legislative duties, not to do political campaigning. Many employees have offices that are open to the public. However, we don't allow those employees to campaign or to sell items in their state offices. Charge Council is seeking to apply those very same rules to respondent Awa. Respondent Awa may also assert that this is a personal Instagram account. He had his followers before he became a legislator. What's the problem with posting whatever he wants on a personal Instagram account? However, the primary problem is not where he posted it. It's that the evidence will show that he utilizes state office, state staff, and state time to post a video supporting Ms. DeCourt's campaign. Just because it's posted to a private page doesn't mean you get to use state resources to support a political campaign. Because respondent utilized state resources to support a political campaign, Charge Council will request that the commission find and conclude that he violated the fair treatment law and request that the commission affirm the penalty issued in the notice of violation in order. Thank you.
Now, you can give your opening now, or you can wait until they finish their case in chief, then you give your openings, your choice.
Oh, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Of the process. So they gave their opening,
Yes, so you can give your opening now,
or I can
or
wait till when?
wait until after they finish to present
Their
their
arguments?
not argument, their case in chief. The argument comes right at the end. So they'll present their case, okay? Then they're gonna rest. And then you can give your opening at that time, and then present your case, or you can give your opening now.
Got it. I'll wait until after to give my opening.
You're gonna wait until they
And then I
finish?
get to, and then after I get to present
Yeah.
closing after.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So you wanna,
Yeah, we can go ahead.
you're gonna waive the opening. In other words, you're gonna wait until you,
Wait, right now.
wait until they finish.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Vice Counsel. Please proceed.
Okay, Commission Counsel Yi, may I have what is marked as Exhibit 1, the declaration of Jared Elster? Let the record reflect that I'm handing Exhibit C1 to Respondent Awab. Pursuant to the October 17th joint stipulation regarding the authenticity and admissibility of complainant's exhibits, complainant moves to admit Exhibit C1 into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
It'll admit into evidence.
Okay. Commission Counsel B, may I have what is marked as complainant's Exhibit C2? Which is the USB video of the October 30, 2024 Instagram post, the subject matter of this case. Oh. Thank you. Pursuant to the October 17, 2025 joint stipulation regarding the authenticity and admissibility of complainant's exhibits, which I will now refer to as the joint stipulation going forward. And Exhibit C1, which is the declaration authenticating this exhibit, complainant moves to admit Exhibit C2 into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
The admitted evidence, that's C2, correct?
Thank you. Chair, did you want to play those now, or were you intending to play them later?
Your pleasure.
Yeah, if we could play that now.
Tough day at the office today. I have to let one of my staffers go. Not because she's doing a bad job, but because she's doing too good of a job. Her community out in Waianae wants to make her their senator. She's on the ballot. Election day is Tuesday. She really wants to get on these videos though. So help me wish her a big thank you for all the work that she's done in our office. Hey! Last day on the job. How's it feel to be getting fired?
Well, at least I won't be shoveling fish guts anymore, so happy about that.
Wait a minute. Does that mean I'll be shoveling fish guts?
Thank you for the reminder. We don't pass torches over here in the office. Sam, pass her the shovel on the way out. All jokes aside though, Sam, this is your time for your flowers. On behalf of all of Oahu's North Shore and the East Side, half of it anyway, we want to thank you for all your dedication to the community, all you've done for us. You've been there to stop that 1 million gallon plus water leak out in Mokuleia. You've been the backbone behind the 2 food tree projects. You've been the motor that makes this car run. We've been in for about 2 years now, handcuffed, limited with what we can do, but getting Sam in as Waianae's senator would unlock our full potential in both communities to represent not just there, but represent the entire state of Hawaii. Sam, any last words?
This Tuesday, election day, kapale hale.
You guys know what to do. Aloha.
Commission Counsel Yi, may I have what is marked as Exhibit C3? This is an unofficial transcript of the Instagram video that was just played. Pursuant to the parties joint, I'm sorry.
Any objection?
No objection.
It
Pursuant
would
to the,
be accepted evidence.
okay.
C3.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Commission Counsel Yi, may I have what is marked as Exhibit C? Support.
No objection. Sorry. A little slow on that one.
No, take time.
Charge Counsel,
Since there are no objections, C4, we need into evidence.
thank you. Commission Counsel Yi, may I have Exhibit C5? Thank you. Exhibit C5.
No objection.
Since, Senator has no objections, we, have exhibit C5 would be admitted to evidence.
Commission Council Yee, may I have exhibit C6, please? Thank you. These are the 2021-2020 rules of the Senate. Yep.
No objection.
No objections by Senator Howell, and it'll be admitted to evidence. You want to take time for whoever to see it on the screen, or you want us to continue? It's up to you.
I'm not sure if you have to go through the Senate rules, but.
Okay. Yeah, manual. No, we will do selected ones, but not for this one.
Okay.
Commission Council Yee, may I have exhibit C7, please? These are highlighted excerpts of the administrative financial manual of the Senate.
No objections.
No objections by Senator Howell, the exhibit E7 would be admitted into evidence.
Could we please display exhibit C7? And just the relevant highlighted portions.
You mean the.
If we could go to C7-5. Yeah, regarding legislator's office, and just hover there for a second. Got it, very good. Do you mind if I read that?
No, go right ahead.
Legislators.
Any objections in reading it? No, it speaks for itself, but go ahead, you can read it. And there's no objections by Senator Howell.
Okay. Legislators' offices shall be available for their use at any time during their term of office. Legislators are expected to limit their use of offices to the conduct of legislative business. If we could go to the next page, page 6. And I won't read it. Section 1.5 on staff hiring speaks for itself. If I could, Commission Council Yee, if I could have exhibit C8, please.
No objections.
No objections by Senator Howell, the exhibit C8 will be admitted to evidence.
Thank you. Commission Council Yee, may I have exhibit C9, please?
Yeah. No objection.
There's no objection by Senator Howell, exhibit number C9 will be admitted to evidence.
Commission Council Yee, may I have exhibit C10, please?
No objection.
Since no objection by Senator Howell, exhibit number C10 will be admitted to evidence.
Commission Council Yee, may I have exhibit C11, please?
No objection.
No objections by Senator Howell to exhibit C11. C11 will be admitted to evidence.
Commission Council Yee, may I have exhibit C12, please?
No objection.
No objections by Senator Howell, exhibit number C12 will be admitted to evidence.
Commission Council Yee, may I have exhibit C13, please?
No objection.
No objections by Senator Howell, exhibit number C13 will be admitted to evidence.
Commission Council Yee, may I have exhibit C14, please?
No objection.
No objections by Senator Howell, exhibit number C14 will be admitted to evidence.
Commission Council Yee, may I have exhibit C15, please?
No objection.
No objections by Senator Alwards. Exhibit C15 will be minutes of evidence.
Could we please display, exhibit C15, please? These are the training slides from the 2023 presentation, which the evidence will show is a law attended. If we could just slowly scroll through those pages for the members of the public, please watch.
Note for the record that exhibit number C15 means scroll.
And the final exhibit is exhibit C16, which is a video that was up. Oh, thank you. Can I have that, please? We do not need to play this video. This is exhibit C16, pursuant to the declaration of Jared Oster, exhibit C1, which authenticates this. Complainant moves to admit exhibit C16 to evidence.
Based upon that affidavit, do you have any objections?
What is 16? What is this last one? I just don't have it.
It's an Instagram video.
My,
Yeah, we could play it. Yeah.
yeah, just my video. As long as it's my video. Yeah. No objection to my video.
Do we just want to play it to see? Yeah, we can play the video.
Okay, no objections, it's your video.
As long as it's my video, no objection.
Is that correct? Is that?
I know it is a video of him speaking. I don't know if it was posted directly to his account.
Oh, well, play it. Yeah, play it, please.
You understand what that video is?
Which one is it? I don't know. I'm still on that.
Why don't you explain again to him? What the
Yeah,
video
it's the
is?
video that you posted on, or that was posted on November 5th. I think it was reposted.
Oh, the recent one, the recent one.
No, this was shortly after the incident where you said that, basically, that you had been informed and asked to take the post down, and that you didn't take the post down.
I'll forget that video, but you can have that one in the evidence.
No objection.
No objection.
No objections. Exhibit number C16 will be admitted to evidence.
Could we go ahead and play that video?
Any objections?
No.
Go ahead.
Last day at the office, tomorrow's election day, and we just found out today that we're being investigated by the state ethics department. Let me show you guys what your taxpayer dollars are going towards. This video. A thank you to my former chief of staff, Samantha DeCourt, who left the office to go run to become Waianae's senator. We were told this morning that there were several people that complained about this video. They wanted me to take it down. The ethics department asked me to take it down. Instead, they'll be investigating. We told them no. We don't tolerate bullying. In other news, we've been working since I got into office with the city to try to let us take over and restore Kahalu'u Beach Park, and they just gave us the green light to do that. I want to thank Mayor Blangiardi and his park staff. This is 8 acres right next to Keahiakohoi, the canoe club. They've been doing a great job of taking care of their section. We want to extend this into all of this overgrowth area, 8 acres that has gone untouched pretty much for 20 years. This could be a pristine beach park. We have a plan to change it back to that. It'll be a lot easier as senator, but no matter what happens, you guys know the saying, we're going to do it anyway.
Is that it?
Yes, charge council arrest.
You understand? He submitted 16 exhibits and that's it. We'll take it under advice. Well, we'll review it and we'll make our decision based upon their exhibits and what you present. Now you have an opportunity to give an opening and then present. You can testify on your own behalf. But I'm going to forewarn you that charge counsel can cross-examine you, and you can redirect yourself when there's a recross on what you present under your redirect. You understand that?
Understood.
Okay, so you can go and give an opening, but again, I'm not forewarning you. An opening, what you plan to prove in your case in chief, not an argument. Okay,
I just
Go ahead.
want to be, forgive me, I'm not a lawyer.
I know you're not, that's why I explained.
Ah,
Normally, if you're in a court of law, but in a
yeah,
trial,
yeah, yeah,
the judge would not explain.
of course. Yeah, I'll give my opening now.
Sure. If you don't mind standing up,
Okay.
thank you.
So aloha, Chair, Commissioners, thank you for having this in person, by the way, appreciate that. First off, I ask for your patience, like I said, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not to this hearing, process, but as a elected senator who specializes in communication, I did want to be here in front of you guys to talk. I didn't know if I get to talk to you, answer your question, or if it's just a back and forth, with them that we see in the courtrooms, but I wanted to be here, and I hope that no, process barriers get in the way of being able to deliver the information that I want to and answer questions that there may be, to prove my side. When I first heard of the ethics department finding me for posting to social media, my initial reaction was just that, shaking my head and then brush it off as this is not a distraction. But as the state's investigation went on, I realized I'd been presented with an opportunity just by being as a senator in this seat, and just by walking the path that I could give the public a glimpse into the state ethics commission's process. And so I'm here really to use my time, not just to defend myself, but hopefully help this commission raise its standard. Maybe not the commission, I don't need to throw any shade on anybody, but the department itself, ethics department itself. And I'm not here to persuade your votes. As a senator, I've seen how votes go, and again, not accusing you guys, but I've seen the process and how votes work, and in a lot of cases they don't work. So I don't intend to change anything here, but I did want to stand up in front of you guys because as Director Harris put it in our previous meeting, he told me that this is an open and shut case, much like you just heard, and that it would result in a decision by you guys and a fine for me. I'm gonna look past that $1,000 potential fine and the personal judgment where he felt I would automatically lose here, and tell you that Mr. Harris had me on the one bit of information that they gave us when we asked how many investigations happen out of this department in a year, and it was 4 to 5. And so that's why I'm here really is, as a senator, I see, our ethics department get investigated 4 to 5 cases, and a case where I posted to social media or anybody is doing social media is there's so much state resources going to it.
Excuse me, Senator. It sounds like you're arguing in your case. Tell us what you're gonna present. If you're gonna testify on your own behalf in regards to what was presented by charge counsel.
Should I just go into that?
Yes.
Should I just go into that then? Like,
If you
you
want.
my intro and just go into
You can do that, or tell us what you plan to say, or if it's a duplication of what you're gonna present, you can start right now. It's up to you.
No, I can just go. Like I don't know the process. I'm just trying to get my words and stuff out so that you guys can get a good color
Understood.
understanding of where I am.
I gave him the same caveat. It's not argument. The opening is what you plan to prove in your case in chief, because you're gonna testify on your own behalf.
Yeah, I mean,
You can tell us what you're gonna say, or you can just say, let me go into my case in chief and just present what you're gonna say by your own testimony.
Or you just give me a little bit of slack on this one. Another minute and a half. Let me finish this and then we'll go right
All
to
right.
the next.
You got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know.
I'm sorry,
No worries.
I'm sorry. I
That's
thought it
okay.
was all- I apologize.
Go ahead.
So yeah, no, I started walking through this process, and I started seeing things that made me want to be here today. And claims that you've heard, and I don't know, this is kind of touching on responding, but just give me a little grace, please. Claims that I'm using my official state Instagram account, for campaign purposes. Social media policies that govern us, but the public never got a chance to weigh in and establish. And the fact that I had to argue to get an in-person hearing today. And I can go into why this is important being in person, for transparency purposes. But that's, aside from what I'm here for. But this is all things that I want to bring to attention. And just a little bit of color, again, one more minute, you know, four years ago, I sold everything that I had to run, to become a state senator because of all I saw. I saw two politicians go to jail. I saw a lot of propaganda being put out there as a former anchor in a former career. And so the one thing that we ran on was, you know, integrity and transparency and doing things right. So when I got into office, and I put this away already, but the one thing that we did was make sure we're walking the straight line. And so that meant no outside employment. That meant term limiting ourselves. That meant a lot of things that you guys push for. We just do it. I haven't taken a single donation since getting elected, until I started, you know, recently my campaign for Congress. Robert Harris's quote hangs, you know, in one of those videos we may have seen, a black sign on the door that says no gifts. His quote is there explaining why we don't take no gifts, is because it leads to that I scratch your back, you scratch my back thing. So we've been doing everything straight line. I understand that in this case, the perception of it is, hey, look, he's campaigning. But my argument, and this is nothing personal, you're doing your job, but since you are the ones bringing the case, I have a hard time, especially in my previous career, seeing reporters and journalists when they had to be right down the middle, but they can't even see that their own personal bias is slanting the story. And so we have a former vice chair, and I know you guys go after, you know, Democrat, Republican, and shouldn't even be partisan, but in this case, I feel that it is a little slanted, not because of the Democrat Republican, but because of the view of the entity that's coming after me and how they view what they're presenting. They view this as campaigning. Should I start my arguments? Should I just go roll into the arguments?
No, you're gonna get to the argument, but let me ask you. We got your opening, okay? Now, what I'm gonna ask you is, now, if you finish with your opening, you can present your case in chief. So what we want to hear is any evidence that you may have to refute the charges against you. That's what we want to hear. And you can testify your own behalf, okay?
What I would like to do, and you asked me, and I would appreciate if you told me how to do this, what direction I can go to do this. They presented a bunch of exhibits.
Let me do it the easier way. Okay, I'm gonna assume that you finish your opening.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us why, okay? What, in regards to any evidence you may have or what you've done to refute the charge against you. That's what we're gonna hear.
So
Not argument, just tell me.
not argument.
Not argument, don't
Okay,
argue.
explain
Tell
to
me,
I apologize.
I didn't say that, that's not right, that's false, etc., whatever.
Their entire basis for trying to say that I'm campaigning is based off of a different perception of what we're doing. And if you were to ask questions, or if I were to be able to present, I could tell you exactly what we were doing with that post.
Tell us.
Okay, now I can. So
Yes, tell us.
So the intent of that post, first off, every post that we do, you know, I ain't doing this for my health. Like it's not something that I like to do. I do it because I was able to get elected, win a seat, and I'm in a position where what my skill set uniquely can help the community. So everything that we've done on the social media has, if you look at my social media, like the evidence that they show where you can, you know, scroll away all the previous posts that I had, you don't see anything personal, like me going to a baseball game or anything fun. All they're doing is sacrificing. And so the fact that they're saying that I'm trying to use my state, what is given to me by the voters and the people that I represent, to benefit myself or somebody else is flat wrong. Everything that we do benefits the community. And they can look at it like this, but what we tried to do on that thing, you can scroll back through my Instagram account when I was a news anchor, and I did the same thing back then. Of course, there's different rules now, but whenever somebody leaves, you have to fill the question. You have to get progressive. That's one thing government fails on. We're so reactive. And what they're doing here is telling me not to be progressive, or telling me to be progressive a little bit different. You know, that's my take. And what I was doing was simply saying, getting ahead of all the questions. Sam's leaving. She's been with me. She's been running all my projects. She gets all the calls that's coming in. Senator Report, sorry. She gets all the calls coming in. I had to let people know in a entertaining way, because if you're not engaging, your message is not getting out there. So you're not, you know, living up to raising the standard of transparency, because you're not engaging. And if you put something out and 0 people is pushing it, nobody sees it, so what's the point? So we put out something engaging, people spread it, they like it. And I told them what's happening so that there was no question after the election, hey, what happened to Sam? Or how come, where's your office manager? I know what it's like to deal with misinformation on the back end. When I first got elected, and you said that I didn't win, and I had to go door to door and try to tell people actually we got in. And so this thing, what they're presenting is wrong. And maybe half of the community, maybe all of you guys, like I said, I'm not here to change votes, but it's a matter of perception. And that'll be my first argument is that's not what we intended. That was not the intention of the campaign. The intention is simply Sam's done. And by the way, here's all the good things that can come to our office and what we're doing for the community if she gets in. It's just fact of the matter. That's legislative because that's my office and what we're doing. So I just go down and off of the backs of all the rest of what they're presenting and try to.
Well, if you want to go through all the exhibits that they've gone through and you want to contest it, but you've already stipulated that, you know, the authenticity and admissibility of each evidence or each exhibit that they presented.
Oh, thank you.
You can keep that for your final argument.
Oh, final argument. Is
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I'll sit or stand or
So
get crossed.
basically, you finish your case in chief, which you heard your testimony with your own witness, correct?
Sure.
Okay, now, as I said before, charge counsel has an opportunity to cross-examine you on what you just said.
No cross-examination.
No cross-examination. But since there's no cross-examination, I'm gonna ask you, do you rest until your final argument? In other words, that's.
Yeah, I'll rest to the final for sure.
Okay, good, you may sit down.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, right now, we're ready for final argument. What I want to do is take a 15-minute break, okay, recess. Any objections to a 15-minute recess? You can you can start preparing your final argument. You understand?
Yep, no objection.
Okay.
No objection.
Okay, the time is now. What's that? 9:42. Let's come back at 10 o'clock. And we'll resume the hearing for the final argument. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that all? Okay, we're.
Is there any, yeah, logistics problems with people may have one facility to Zoom? And we started.
Is it a big start or do we have this Zoom?
No, they're on YouTube.
What's that on YouTube?
On YouTube. The streaming is on YouTube.
It says if they restart earlier than the, it says.
Yeah.
Should we wait? I mentioned the recess for 15 minutes.
Man, I think you said 15 minutes and people are monitoring.
Yeah, they will wait for 15 minutes. About that, music, I don't want to say, you know, we.
So I got the video and audio on, so it's back to live streaming now. We're all on, no one's on right now, we're on right now. So it's my last to see on.
Well, actually, we're all here. There's been, I mentioned recess to the Joe's still push it stopped. Well, the English is started at 10 o'clock.
I'll pause it outside.
Ah.
I'm just starting it off, but you can start with when at 10. I just want to make sure it's running the first.
Okay, we're back from recess, or resume the hearing. Since Senator Awa has testified as witness, there was no cross-examination by charge counsel, but we will give an opportunity to the commissioners to see if they have any questions based upon your testimony. Okay. So, commissioners, anyone has any questions of Mr. Awa based upon his testimony as chief case in chief, rather? No questions, Commissioner Thielen? No questions? Mr. Beckman, any questions? Okay, and my understanding with that, you rest your case. We're ready for final arguments, Senator Olive.
Yeah, shoot, too bad you guys never have questions. I hope you did. But yeah, argument's final.
All right. Are you ready?
We are, sure.
15 minutes, final argument.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. If you like, I'd like to pose a problem before we start. Imagine you're a voter a few days before the election. You're looking at your phone, as one does, and you're looking through videos. You see a video with a sitting state senator in his office, talking to his office manager, describing all the wonderful work that she's done. Then it shifts and it starts to say how wonderful it would be to have this person in the Senate, and then basically says, election day, you know what to do. Would you, as a person watching this video, interpret this as a farewell video, or would you interpret this as a campaign ad? That's fundamentally what you're here to address today. So let's look at the evidence. Looking at record C2, the Instagram video posted by respondent, it is undisputed that this video was filmed inside a legislative office. Those offices exist for legislative work, serving the public. Even the Senate's own rules forbid using the state office for private business or campaign work. It's also undisputed that the video was filmed during work hours. Both the office manager and respondent are and were state employees. They're paid by the state and they're paid to do public work, not to film a campaign ad. Respondent spent a good portion of the video complimenting and describing the work that the office manager did. That's perfectly fine. Where the video took a sharp turn is where he made specific references to unlocking the full potential by getting a senator, his office manager, elected into the Senate, and then made the call to action, specifically asking for people to vote essentially on election day by saying, you know what to do. That's when that became a campaign video, and that's the problem that we have to address today. The use of state resources for campaign purposes is strictly prohibited. The Fair Treatment Law exists to prevent anyone from using their position or public assets for private or political gain. This rule isn't a formality, it's not a technicality. It's fundamental to ensuring confidence in government. It's foundational to establishing integrity in government. Respondent says he didn't intend on filming a campaign video. However, the state ethics code does not require intent. It's not what respondent meant to say. It's what the public heard. And any reasonable person listening to this would have heard a call to action, specifically directing them to vote for this person. Respondent just spent a great deal of time describing how wonderful she was and what that would do if she were elected. That message couldn't have been more clear. The commission has, for a long and consistent time, held the line on fair treatment violations. State resources cannot be used to support a campaign. The principle appears in the commission's guidance, which was introduced as evidence. It's also shown in the ethics training, which 90% of all state employees have now taken. And as we know, respondent himself took, with specific slides directing him that this is not allowed or this is prohibited in the Fair Treatment Code. And the commission has held this line through its consistent enforcement. If we look at all of the different cases brought against different legislators and legislative staff with both political parties, regardless, because the commission has interpreted fair treatment in a way where it says this is a bright line that state employees and legislators cannot cross. Charge counsel asks if you do this again here, asks that you uphold the law, uphold the public trust, and again, uphold the notice in violation of order, which was issued on August 20th, 2025. Because taxpayer resources belong to the people, it should not be used for a political campaign. Thank you. We rest.
Oh. We live in arguably one of the most corrupt states where people legally pay to play in, and there's still a lawmaker out there who apparently took a $35,000 bribe as of today, still out free. But we're all here taking times out of our day to serve the public by talking about what I did or didn't do on social media through a post. The post was to communicate changes in my office at the time and to get ahead of questions that would come, as my old office manager was all likelihood leaving to become a senator, in which she did. The post was part of my job. My use of social media has been a benefit to our communities. Important to know, nobody touches my social media. No staffer from when I got in. Nobody that has made a single tax dollar has touched my social media. If you look in the video, I'm holding the camera. I do everything. So they could argue that a Sam on clock time spoke for 5 seconds. That could be a valid argument, but I did everything else. So again, different perception. I do want you guys to know, and this is not, being ungrateful or not humble or anything, it's just opinion, that no fine or punishment would change our social media practice, because the public's not allowed. The public is not allowed in the process of which what governs us. Until that changes, we're gonna be senators and run right up into the guardrail as everybody else does in all kinds of different areas. Two last notes, again for color. I am the Senate Minority Leader, and I'll tell you, across the aisle we work with people, and across the aisle there's a majority policy leader, and that person comes into my office and tells me how much I make his life in the professional setting easier, because we're so far on the moral side of the spectrum that when he's trying to make the Senate majority more moral in their actions, we're not making him look, he doesn't look crazy anymore, essentially, when he's saying it got to be this way, and they're like, that's crazy. I'm not going to say his name, but they're like, that's too much, that's too far, and he's And we're all the way over here when it comes to the scale of what is right and doing things morally. So I will tell you that regardless of what they think, what you guys think, there are people in there on the other side that think we're doing a hell of a job when it comes to good government. And that's not common. One other thing that I want to point out before I close, I'm a stickler for misinformation, even slightly off inaccurate information. That was my previous career, and that's why I got out, because of too much of that. I just want to put something that I've been holding for 2 years out on the table. And how this relates is it's just a little bit of a different perspective, as you're hearing today from council. Our ethics director, he writes well, and he did write an article, and so it would be, like I said, 2 years ago, talking about the I scratch your back, you scratch mine. The opening line was, this past year, 2 individuals gave boxes of chocolate to each legislator. I tell you that's wrong, because we don't take gifts, and I never took a box of chocolate. So there's no way that opening in that man's article, that first lead line of the story was correct. It was wrong. And I'm here to say that their perspective, in my opinion, on this case and what we did is wrong too. Thanks.
Judge Connor, about me,
Be brief.
5 minutes.
Understood. Thank you, Chair. I would like to thank the Commission Chair for being present. I'd like to thank Senator Wong for being present, appearing and making this a transparent and public process. I think that is important that we are seen enforcing the ethics code, and that everybody has an opportunity to make their presentation. It's important to do, and I know it's not easy, so I thank Senator Wong for doing that. I also like to thank that, again, many times people will act in an ethical fashion and will hold good policies that speak to integrity. And Senator Watt has certainly been a leader in that in many situations. However, when we have a line, code of conduct, we have to apply it fairly and consistently. And so even sometimes we have to apply it against people we consider friends, people who otherwise act well, because we want to make sure that lines is held consistently for everyone. Just as much as we don't want to see state employees running a private business out of a state office, we also don't want to see political campaigning going on during state time, state work hours. That's why we're here today. I think the evidence is clear, and we will rest on that. And thank you again for your consideration of our case.
If there's nothing any further, this concludes the hearing. And I'm going to instruct all parties that you shall submit your findings, proposed findings of fact and any conclusions of law to the commission by the close of business on November 10th, 2025. You understand that? Does any party have any further items to be brought up? Charge counsel?
Your Chair.
So I just would like to, dovetailing off of Director Harris, my appreciation for you guys being here. It's nice to see face to face, because when I first heard that we're gonna do this on Zoom, myself, I was like, I don't even want to do that, because I'm not gonna be able to look at you guys. And so I appreciate y'all being here.
At this time, we would like to thank the parties for their presentations and their professional conduct throughout these proceedings. We do appreciate your presentations and your demeanor during this hearing. So with that, the hearing is now adjourned, and the time is now 10:12. And I want to thank everybody for coming, and